Hello, I'm Pastor Keith Mozingo of Metropolitan Community Church of Baton Rouge. I want to thank you for clicking on the video of our worship message. Please go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/MCCBR to see the entire worship service, including prayers, special music, and communion. You're also welcome to join us every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. for worship service. Stay tuned after the message for information on how you can stay in touch with us.
I know it seems like trouble comes when you...
Our reading is from Isaiah 58, 1 through 12. Shout, a full-throated shout. Hold nothing back. A trumpet blast shout. Tell my people what's wrong with their lives. Face my family, Jacob, with their sins. They're busy, busy, busy at worship and love studying all about me. To all appearances, they are a nation of right living people, law-abiding, God-honoring. They ask me, what's the right thing to do? And love having me on their side. But they also complain. Why do we fast and you don't look our way? Why do we humble ourselves and you don't even notice? Well, here's why. The bottom line on your fast days is profit. You drive your employees much too hard. You fast, but at the same time you bicker and fight. You fast, but you swing a mean fist. The kind of fasting you do won't get your prayers off the ground. Do you think this is the kind of fast day I'm after? A day to show off humility? To put on pious long face and parade around solemnly in black? Do you call that fasting? A fast day that I, God, would like? This is the kind of fast day I'm after. To break the chains of injustice. Yeah. Get rid of exploitation in the workplace. Yeah. Free the oppressed. Yeah. Cancel debts. Yeah. What I'm interested in seeing you do is sharing your food with the hungry. Yes. Inviting the homeless, poor into your homes. Yes. Putting clothes on the shivering, ill-clad. Yes. Being available to your own families. All right. Do this and the lights will turn on and your lives will turn around at once. Your righteousness will pave your way. The God of glory will secure your passage. Then, when you pray, God will answer. You'll call out for help, and I'll say, here I am. If you get rid of unfair practices, quit blaming victims, quit gossiping about other people's sins, if you're generous with the hungry and start giving yourselves to the down and out, your lives will begin to glow in the darkness. Your shadowed lives will be bathed in sunlight. I will always show you where to go. I'll give you a full life in the emptiest of places. Firm muscles, strong bones. You'll be like a well-watered garden, a gurgling spring that never runs dry. You'll use the old rubble of past lives to build anew. Rebuild the foundation from out of your past. You'll be known as those who can fix anything, restore old ruins, rebuild and renovate, make the community livable again. The second reading is from Matthew 6, 1 through 6, and 16 through 21. Be especially careful when you're trying to be good, so that you don't make a performance out of it. It might be good theater, but the God who made you won't be applauding. When you do something for someone else, don't call attention to yourself. You'll see them in action, I'm sure. Play actors, I'll call them, treating prayer meetings and street corners alike as a stage, acting, compassionate, as long as someone's watching, playing to the crowds. They get applause, true, but that's all they get. When you help someone out, don't think about how it looks. Just do it. Quietly, unobtrusively. That's the way your God who conceived you in love, working behind the scene, helps you. And when you come before God, don't turn that into a theatrical production either. All these people making a regular show out of their prayers, hoping for stardom. Do you think God sits in a box seat? Here's what I want you to do. Find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there as simply and honestly as you can manage. The focus will shift from you to God, and you'll begin to sense His grace. When you practice some appetite-denying discipline to better concentrate on God, don't make a production of it. It might turn you into a small-time celebrity, but it won't make you a saint. If you go into training inwardly, act normal outwardly. Shampoo and comb your hair, brush your teeth, wash your face. God doesn't require attention-getting devices. He won't overlook what you're doing. He'll reward you well. Don't hoard treasures down here where it gets eaten by moths and corroded by rust, or worse, stolen by burglars. Stockpile treasures in heaven where it's safe from the moths and rust and burglars. It's obvious, isn't it? The place where your treasure is the place you will most want to be and end up being. In our contemporary reading tonight, Ubuntu is the Shoso word used to describe the tend and befriend survival behavior. Ubuntu recognizes that human beings need each other for survival and well-being. A person is a person only through other persons, we say. We must care for one another in order to survive. This is from Made for Goodness by Archbishop Desmond Tutu and Reverend Canon Mufo Tutu Van Firth, his daughter. The second contemporary reading is, Ubuntu is the essence of being human. It speaks of how my humanity is caught up and bound inextricably with yours. We are created for a delicate network of relationships, of interdependence with our fellow human beings, with the rest of creation. Ubuntu speaks of spiritual attributes such as generosity, hospitality, compassion, caring, sharing. This concept speaks of how people are more important than things, than profits, than material possessions. It speaks about the intrinsic worth of persons, not dependent on extraneous things such as status, or race, or creed, or gender, or achievement. Ubuntu teaches us that our worth is intrinsic to who we are. We matter because we are made in the image of God. Ubuntu reminds us that we belong in one family, God's family, the human family. And this is from God is Not a Christian by Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Amen. Amen.
You just heard the term Ubuntu spoken, and you're going to hear that a lot because that is the theme of our complete Lenten season. So from now through Easter, you will hear a lot of the different readings, and we want to say a special thank you to our leaders, our UFMCC leaders in South Africa, who put this together, this whole Lenten series, and we begin tonight on Ash Wednesday. And so you got a little introduction as to what the definition of Ubuntu is, and so you'll be hearing more and more about that as we go. The litany for this evening is adapted from Archbishop Desmond Tutu in an African prayer book. You can follow along with me. My God, why have you forsaken me? Our God, why have you forsaken us? My God, our God, when will we ever learn? When will they ever learn? Oh, when will we ever learn that you intended us for shalom, for wholeness, for peace, for fellowship, for togetherhood, for neighborhood, for siblinghood, for family?
When we ever learn that you created us as your children, as members of one family, your family, the human family, created us for linking arms to express our common humanity. God, I am filled with anguish and puzzlement. Why, oh God, is there so much suffering, such needless suffering? Everywhere we look, there is pain and suffering. Why must your people in Florida tonight from school shootings? Why must your people in Afghanistan, in Palestine, in Israel, in Honduras, in Venezuela, in Colombia, Puerto Rico? Why, oh God, must your people suffer? Why must there be so much killing, so much death and destruction, so much bloodshed, so much suffering, so much oppression and injustice and poverty and hunger? Oh God, my God, our God, please, is there some explanation for what is happening in Palestine? Can you tell me, please, why should your people suffer so? I don't understand, oh God, my God, our God. Why, oh why must there be so much pain and suffering in your creation, so very good and beautiful? I am dumbfounded. I am bewildered and in agony. This is the world you loved so much, that for it you gave your only Son to hang from the cross, done to death. Love nearly overwhelmed by hate. Light nearly extinguished by darkness. Life nearly destroyed by death. But not quite. For love vanquished hate. For love overcame death there. Light overwhelmed darkness there. And we can live with hope. I invite you now to join me in responsive prayer. Jesus, you have taught us to pray for our enemies while we pray for the people whose goal is peace. We pray also for those who create chaos. God, through your Spirit, lead us to Ubuntu. While we pray for those who genuinely care for others, we also pray for those who only think of themselves. God, through your Spirit, lead us to Ubuntu. While we pray for those who have their lives all together, we also pray for those who feel they are falling apart. God, through your Spirit, lead us to Ubuntu. And while we pray for those who are humbly seeking closeness with you, we also pray for those who have not yet seen the joy of knowing you. God, through your Spirit, lead us to Ubuntu. Amen. And now, as we prepare our hearts for communion and the imposition of ashes, I invite you to pray this prayer of reflection with me. From thought to feeling, ideas to senses, from mind to gut, blood to breath, desperation to inspiration, strategy to impulse, from conditioning to dreaming, body to being, from warring to loving, difference to oneness, distrust to faith, from doubt to believing, insecurity to equilibrium, questions to silence, from struggle to surrender, we surrender, from imprisonment to liberation, judgment to acceptance, attachment to freedom, from exhaustion to enthusiasm, dragging to dance, holding on to letting go, anchoring to flight, from known to unknown, roots to wings. My sisters and brothers, we will spend just a few minutes of time in silent prayer for us to sort of absorb all we just heard. I know that was a lot of reading and a lot of response, but it is well worth our time to just let those words seep into our spirit. So there will be a few moments of silent prayer. Notice there's a kneeling bench here in the front for those of you who would like to spend some time up here. You're welcome to do that. Momentarily after your time of silent prayer, there will be no dismissal, by the way. The time of silent prayer will be followed by you coming forward, those who would like to take communion. It is self-service this evening. The bread, the juice, all here, all prayed over, all blessed before you ever arrived. I did it myself, so I know I got it done. Blessed for us to partake. And then those of you who want the imposition of ashes, you can step over and I will impose the ashes. There will be music playing quietly in the background. Take as much time as you need to pray and reflect on this time of Lent, on this time of Ubuntu. And get that word in your head and let that just seep into your spirit. Because it reminds me, when I was reading, it reminds me of a song Sean Thomas did for us, the song he wrote about the Christ in me sees the Christ in you. And that's a lot of what Ubuntu. So see, it's not an original idea. And it's not an American idea. It's come from a lot of history from the beginnings of time. So think on these things. Have some time of prayer. And come forward when you're ready. Afterwards, you may leave at your pleasure.
Again, thank you for watching our worship message video on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified of other video posts. You can also watch our worship service in its entirety by going to facebook.com/MCCBR. You can watch us live on Facebook at 11 a.m. Central every Sunday. Visit our webpage at mccbr.org, where you can find our calendar of events, as well as other information about our church and our denomination. Like our Facebook page so you can be notified of our other live events. Thank you again, and may you have a blessed week.
Whether here and now or another time, not even height or depth, whether strong or weak, in the face of the future or the powers that be, you are not separated.